All right. Everybody's mic's live and the video's live and all that stuff. And dog cam is on, but dog is not in the room. And yeah, so we can just go ahead and get started. This is I Should Be Writing Season 22, Episode 2. And hi there, welcome to I Should Be Writing. This is a podcast for wannabe fiction writers, and I'm your host, Mer Lafferty. I stream this live on Twitch every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and I talk about writing and the various walls you put up to fail to get over. That was not very well said, but I just words are leaving my brain these days. I don't know. I should be writing this thing, not recording it. But I don't script because I would never ever do it. But speaking of things that I find very difficult to do in terms of everyday living, I'm excited to have on my show today my assistant, Tim Minichi. Hi, Tim.
Hello.
So we're going to talk about what you do in a moment, but you are also a writer and you are also a podcaster. So tell us a little bit about your stuff.
Oh gosh. Oh, okay. So I podcast with my friend Jason. We've been doing it for 15 years. This is our actually starting our 16th year. We talk about music. We review albums and we have interviews mostly with folks from the 1990s is our focus, like indie music, alternative music, that kind of stuff. And then we've also expanded into 70s, 80s, and the 2000s so we can keep expanding our dominance over the album review marketplace. And it's actually just a good way to tell the story of the 90s by going backwards and
Mm-hmm.
seeing what the influences were and then going back and going forward and seeing how the 90s influenced music going forward. I'm a writer too. I've written a couple of novels and some nonfiction books that all of them are available on the various places, Amazon, that you can get those. And that, yeah, I'm just here in Columbus, Ohio. It's 5 degrees outside, snow, cold, terrible. You can't tell from
Yeah,
my backdrop. My backdrop's in the future where I want to be.
right. Valerie's pointed out that I don't have a guest command up for you right now, so I will change that.
Is there a chat?
Yes, there's a chat on Twitch.
How do you? I'm in Google Meet,
No,
so
you're
I don't.
looking at me. You need to go to twitch.tv/mightymer, turn the audio off, and then you can see the chat and us on a slight time delay.
I shall do that.
I'm going to spell your name right in the command. Sure am. Thank you for helping me stay on top of things, Valerie. uh, Tim, what's your homepage, or where would you want people to find you?
Oh, you can just go to my first name Tim, and then last name minneci.com. I think I've updated that once in the last 5 or 6 years.
Oh,
But
great.
it's got the links to the books, it's got the links to the podcast, it's got the links to all the stuff.
Okay,
Uh,
now that should. Did it work? I don't know.
who knows? Who can say?
Just the different bots, they sometimes work, sometimes don't. I don't know. They'll just decide. Uh, all right, there we go. Okay, now it should work. I'm totally a pro at this. There we go. Okay, there it is.
Woohoo!
And while we're doing things, I'm going to cut out of the podcast anyway. Hello, Lee and Underpope and Ian, and Valerie is here, and I think that's everybody so far except for my mini bots.
All people I know from the Discord,
That's
which
right.
if you haven't joined at Patreon, that's the place to go to get to Murr's lively Discord.
That's right. Um, so yeah, you are very busy, but also and you also have a child and a day job, and for some reason you decided to start helping out authors. What I find interesting is that you assistant, that's a verb now. Assist would be the verb, wouldn't it? You
Yeah.
assist several authors, not just me.
Right.
Um, but say what does an assistant do, and also how are you different with different clients?
So for you, I'll start with you because you're here and I'm looking at you.
Yes.
I assist by having a separate email account so you don't get all the emails for people who want to be guests on the show or people pitching things, and I can go through and weed out the stuff that really doesn't make sense. Obviously your podcast has, or not podcast, yeah, your podcast has certain guests on. Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to have on guests that aren't relevant to what you're talking about, even though people will pitch themselves.
Oh yes, yes.
So I will, I'll go through all that stuff. You will get fan mail, and I will pass that along, and keep track of a calendar for when you're going to have guests on. Establish, get them all the information they're going to need to be on the podcast. We have an FAQ that they get when they are getting ready to come on the podcast, so they know the program. And it's a lot of like busy work, I guess you'd say, that I think is important to take off the plate of someone who's trying to do creative work. That's one of the things that bogs people down is just the endless amount of busy work that
Mm-hmm.
goes around being creative. Like, that you when you have people emailing all the time, it's like you shouldn't be focusing on the emails. You should be focusing on what you need to be doing with
Mm-hmm.
regards to your projects and stuff. So we've done that. There's projects of different types for different people. Um, Almost always email is involved,
Yeah.
but I
Not
have done some
surprised.
like one-offs, where I've just worked with like helping to clean up a website. Someone needed their website, just some information corrected that they had not updated in many years. So, like, can you just go through these pages and just get all of my releases correct and the dates correct and all that kind of stuff? It was like for short stories or whatever, and that just that took some time, but not so much. And then anything that just pops up that's administrative, that is not something that you're going to want to deal with. It might be creating images for social media. That happens a lot. There can be giveaways, like Goodreads does giveaways, or various websites will do promotions. So we're trying to, like, if we know what's happening, try to throw up some sort of an image, or some sort of a post pointing people in that direction. Unfortunately, the publishing world doesn't always love to tell you when things are happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you kind of just have to happen, right? You
Yeah.
happen upon things.
One other thing you do is you have Google alerts on
Yep.
all your authors, which you know I don't recommend doing for yourself because you will get all the ways your name is mentioned, and
Hmm.
um, yeah, you usually don't want that. I don't want that. I'm a fragile flower, so if I did that, I would find somebody's opinion on something and it would ruin my day. So it's nice that Tim has, whenever he finds something interesting online or some sites, oh, the dog's here, or some site is doing uh, a giveaway or something, then he'll tell me about it. Um,
Yeah.
but
I mean, things
you,
have changed a lot since we started doing this.
oh,
Twitter was a huge deal when
yeah,
we started. I used to have, for you and people probably know. I mean, maybe they don't know, but I worked for Cameron Hurley for a long time. And I used to have a daily schedule where I would plot out like 5 different posts across social media per day for Cameron.
Yeah.
Morning we would promote Patreon, lunchtime we would promote her podcast, afternoon we would promote this, evening we would do another Patreon, and then we do like an overnight one for like the West Coast, so that something would go out at like 11 or 12. That doesn't happen anymore.
But consider, okay, take away the flaming death of Twitter, and I am trying to do more promotion for myself. Um, and I'm just trying to do one a day, but that's like I'm trying to make something interesting on Canva or a video, so it's not just throw up a tweet. Um, did you find like a lot of good response to that much promotion for Cameron?
Well, it was always a thing that we were playing with, trying to adjust to see what worked.
Right.
And we did this with our own podcast, me and Jay, where you would try to see like which platform was performing the best, which one could you actually see people engaging. And for a long time, that was Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one where you could see, especially if there was a new short story that went up, because Cameron does those monthly,
Yeah.
you would see then like in a day or two, new people joining her Patreon regularly. So there was always like a bump because of certain things, usually because, like I said, the Patreon, the Twitter community was like a bit more engaged. I guess it's not the same as like, Instagram people are scrolling fast, so you got to come up with something that's eye catching.
Mm-hmm.
And we would try to do stuff that has motion, try to do little videos instead of just pictures or what have you,
Yeah.
nothing static. And we even tried doing TikTok for a while, but that didn't really go anywhere, because Cameron really didn't want to make TikToks.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of ways to like promote Cameron's books without actually using Cameron, which on a site like TikTok is hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I think it's easier for people who are booktubers or book talkers
Mm-hmm.
who to constantly be talking about a new book, because you can constantly be writing, or I mean reading a new book, whereas as a writer your job should be writing, not making videos to
Yeah.
post on social media. I understand some people are able to do that, but that's not the case with most authors I have worked with.
Yeah.
Like they're busy and they don't necessarily want to spend time on these sorts of things,
Mm-hmm.
which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
So, but the landscape, yeah, really from, because I started right after COVID. I mean, right during COVID. Started January 21 with Cameron,
Oh wow.
and then 1 year later with you. And that time feels like it's hard connecting the way it used to. I mean, that was like 30,000 something followers.
Yeah.
You can't replace those on Blue Sky the same way. It's just not the same impact, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And she doesn't use Facebook. She has a generic page just to make sure that her name isn't utilized,
Yeah.
but that's about it. So, um, yeah, anything. I mean, also Ursula, I work for. Ursula is just primarily all email.
Mm-hmm.
I have to spend like a day. I check emails like every couple days because, I like you said, I do have a full-time job, and I do have a daughter and a family, and who's a teenage daughter now who's very busy, and so I don't get to check email every day. So every couple days I'll check. Most, like you and Cameron, will get a couple emails, just normal flow of things. If Ursula puts out a book, I'm gonna get like 50 emails in a day,
Wow.
and I'm like, oh my god. Like, and most of them are just people saying, hey, I read the new book and it was great, and that kind of stuff, which is awesome. But then we get a ton of those AI generated, if I just read your book and it was pulse pounding exciting, here's what we can do to promote you.
Yeah, but
I,
I was so angry to find I couldn't find you anywhere on an easy search.
yeah,
I'm always thinking that's you're a lot more passionate about this than I am, and it's my job, so
exactly.
I don't believe you.
I think even like people like John Scalzi get those, and I'm like, I don't think he needs help.
Yeah.
He's on the New York Times bestsellers list. I think he's doing okay with your
Yeah.
your BS AI emails. So that's a lot of it is just weeding through that stuff. And then she gets, like you and Cameron, opportunities to do appearances,
Hmm.
bookstores, conferences, festivals, requests for interviews, media requests. In addition to that, there'll be like anthology and short story requests or reprint requests come in from time to time. Um, it- Rights inquiries from different parts of the world
Hmm.
might come into that email. It's just a variety of things that there's always something new that pops up where I'm like, I have to email somebody and go, I don't know what this is supposed to be about. Do you know what this is about? And then usually we figure it out.
Yeah, a
But
lot of times you do that for me, and I've already been copied on it. So it's like they just skip, they send it to you and then they skipped you and went to me, which really annoys me. But
yes,
uh, yeah, don't do that.
if you
If
don't follow the
don't,
rules, you will not get picked.
yes,
That's part of the that's part of my my process is like, if you didn't follow the rules in the first place, I'm not going to take you seriously
yeah.
because you didn't even bother to respect the way that we want to do this. So yeah, it's just, it's whatever comes up a lot of times. So you will say like, "Hey, I've got a project I want to work on." And be like, "Okay, let's do that." Cameron will do the same thing. Cameron asks me to do like an anthology collection for all of her short stories that she publishes. So I put them into a single document and edit it and uh, make sure all the margins are perfect because I'm combining basically 12 different Word documents
Yeah.
into one, which can be a little tricky. And then she sends that out to her Patreon folks at the beginning of each year. So they have all the stories in one like short story bundle.
Right.
Um, yeah, stuff like that.
So what has I should be writing stuff down because I'm like, hey, I could do that. All these ideas you're giving me to take up your time. Um, so what's happened that you haven't expected, either good or bad?
Well, nothing really bad has happened. I mean, I'm actually very happy at how little negative email any of you get.
Oh, good.
Um, I I have probably gotten more negative email from my podcast than I have seen combined for all three of you that I've been working for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Um, and that's just because music can be very
Polarizing.
polarizing. Yes, that's the word. People have opinions. So if we didn't express the opinion that they held, sometimes
Yes.
people get very pissy about that. So I think the surprising stuff is just getting the look behind the curtain on some of how the publishing world works and how it's not as I don't know what to say organized,
No,
but
you
they're
can say
definitely
organized.
they definitely feels like less informative on the back end for authors than say musicians.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'll give you an example. When an album sells and there's a barcode, you can look up at the end of the week every single sale of that record because they have this thing called SoundScan. They should have. They think they have something similar for books, but it seems like impossible to get actual numbers of book sales. You get like estimates
Yep.
and number of books shipped,
Yep.
but you're not actually getting sales information, which I find very uh, frustrating.
That should be a basic arithmetic thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a barcode on every book. You should be able to just combine all of the various places that those are sold. It's inventory control at the very least.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand the back end, and it seems very sketchy to me that this is not readily like you can't go to a dashboard every day and just see where your sales are at. Like you should be able to look at that.
Well, some publishers offer that.
Do they?
I think Penguin Random House does.
And they regularly update?
I think so. I
Oh,
don't look at it every day.
that
If
should
I
be
did that,
industry
I'd be
standard.
obsessive and never write again.
Right. But that should be industry standard
Yeah.
for everybody. Everybody should know where they stand.
Yeah.
Um
Especially if you're waiting for an advance to earn out.
Yeah, I do. I was surprised happily how many times kids write in or their parents write in for them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the the number of kids that write in because of Minecraft books that you have written
Yeah.
is very fun. In fact, I have to forward you over one that we got just the other day.
Okay.
Um, and Ursula because of her hamster books and that kind of stuff.
Dragon Breath. Yeah.
Dragon Breath. They're so much fun when a kid writes in. And I will answer most emails back, but if sometimes when a kid writes in, I will send it to Ursula so she can specifically write something back to them so they have an email right back from the author instead of the author's assistant, which isn't as cool.
No.
If you're a 10-year-old writing to your favorite author, you don't want Tim
Yeah.
to email back and say, "Well, thanks very much. I'll let her know." You want Ursula to acknowledge you and say thanks.
Yeah.
Um, so that's fun. That's like one of the pleasures of doing it. Which really you're talking about time and stuff. I really just wanted to do it because I'm interested in writing and I'm interested in the publishing world, but I'm realistic about the fact that like odds are I'm not going to be publishing some big book anytime soon. I've done all self-publishing and I'm totally cool with that. So like getting to work with professional published authors and be supportive of them, especially in the fields like the in the genres that I really enjoy, which are science fiction and dipping into fantasy and a little bit of thriller horror, I guess. I don't Ursula's hard to pin down sometimes in terms
Yes.
of what her styles are. But like I was a fan of Cameron's before I was an assistant of hers. I had
Mm-hmm.
gotten the Light Brigade and I was like, holy crap, this is an amazing. Can I swear on this podcast? Are
If
we
you
allowed to
do,
swear?
I'll bleep it out. Don't worry about
Oh,
it.
okay. I'll keep my PG
Okay.
but like and that was just a random situation. Like she posted after I had read the book that she was looking for an assistant on social media, and I pinged her and I was like, "Hey, I've worked as an administrative assistant and an executive assistant. That's my job, full time job. Uh, I could pick up, 5 or 10 hours a week if you need some help." And then that's how it ended up starting,
Mm-hmm.
and having a few extra dollars because I used to be quite a vinyl collector,
Yeah.
and it was helpful. I've started to restrict myself on that so that the money is not all going to buy records.
Yeah.
Um, so it's been a great experience. I still have not gotten to like Worldcon or anything like that. I want to get to go to see everybody in person. I've only met Cameron in person
Yeah.
because she lives 45 minutes. It
Yeah.
took 5 years to meet Cameron in person, and we were only 45 minutes from each other. Just shows you how much I leave the area.
Yeah. So what do you think is more likely for you, LA or Montreal?
My wife says I should look into going to LA uh, because we have points. She's like, "We got points. You should go." I'm
Well,
like,
your
"All
wife is
right,
right.
I'll look into it." Um, yeah, Montreal would be hard. Uh, will be harder, but I could potentially make that happen. But that's that. Then you're talking about like you got to get up a passport and all that kind of stuff, and then it's
Well,
out of the
yeah.
country. It's not like the old days when I grew up in Buffalo. You just
Mm-hmm.
walk across the Peace Bridge, and they'd be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
what you doing here?" Like, I'm here to just have a Molson and watch some hockey, and they'd be like, "Cool, come on in."
Yeah.
And now it's totally different. It's not as fun anymore. When I was young,
Yep.
and you could drink when you were 19. That was for the good old Canadian days.
Yep. Yep. Um, I might be out of questions. You're also helping Cameron with some tech stuff, right? Don't you do you're sort of like the producer both live there and doing the actual back end of the sound stuff for Cameron.
What do you mean, as far as the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do everything on the podcast. So I will do the scheduling, the recording. It'll basically be somebody who she's interested in having on, either somebody who has a book out or he's a friend. That's typically usually it's it. We don't. She doesn't typically have people on. They're like you have a very expansive roster of guests, new writers, people you haven't met before, that kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing. And this tends to be like whatever Cameron is interested in
Yeah.
is what we're going for at that moment. So yeah, I'll do the recording and then do the editing on the back end, which I do for my music podcast as well. I was telling my wife I'm kind of getting burned out of 15 years of editing in GarageBand of podcasts. It's just it's been a lot. So luckily Cameron only does them every couple months, but um, it's not too difficult. Like I always say, it should take twice as long to edit as it took to record. So if it's a half hour podcast, it should only take you an hour
Yeah.
to get through and edit it. So that's not too bad. Um, and then I do the back end stuff as far as like making it sure it gets out into the platforms. So she uses WordPress and they have a built-in podcast module. I don't know what to call it exactly, but it spits it out to all the different podcast
Mm-hmm.
services. Whereas for my podcast, we use Podbean. So it's a little bit different, but essentially the same difference.
So Podbean doesn't offer that?
Not in the same way. I mean, Podbean isn't, you could set up a website with Podbean, but you're still dealing with, the www.podbean.com/ your name of your
Yeah.
podcast, as opposed to just running it off of, I mean, I guess maybe you could redirect the URL to go to like whatever the name of the podcast is, but I don't know that a lot of people that actually use Podbean as their homepage. Like
Yeah.
most people just use it as the platform to get stuff up.
Yeah.
Um, it's not as adjustable as you doing something in WordPress or some other like Squarespace, or I don't know. Is Squarespace still a thing? I'm
I
sure people still
think,
use
yeah, I
Squarespace.
think so. Because
I don't know. I
Google
was going to say
domains stopped
Blogger.
being Google domains,
Like,
and suddenly I'm with Squarespace now. Um,
I use a tripod website still. It's
are you
from
kidding?
2000. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, because man, I was about to be really impressed. I remember Tripod.
Tripe. We joke about that. Like if some of the older bands, their websites are still on Angel Fire or Tripod, we're like, yes, we
Wow.
still can dig up information on these bands that disappeared 25 years ago. Because those websites have not gone away. I don't know who's still hosting Angel Fire and Tripod sites, but God bless them.
Yeah. Um, so what do you wish that we would do more of?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I really did. I mean, you can't go back in time, but I did really enjoy creating GeoCities. Yes, live well. Uh, I did really enjoy creating a lot of the social media stuff. It was like a skill that I was developing
Mm-hmm.
to be able to learn how to use like a Canva, to learn how to use um, motion and edit utilizing motion. So I was kind of getting better and better at doing that, so that it got to the point where I was able to create like a full like trailer for a book,
Mm-hmm.
which was fun. I mean, it's just experimenting, and that stuff has kind of gone away, and it hasn't really been replaced by anything yet. But I mean, I wish I got to do more on-site stuff at like cons and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. It's just hard
Yeah.
at this point. Um, but I find that kind of stuff is fascinating to me because I hate public speaking, but like people who can do it well and be whatever, charming and personable and all that kind of stuff. Uh, those are people that I admire because I can't do that. So I'm happy to support those people in a live setting if they need water or
Mm-hmm.
a screen managed while they're trying to talk, that kind of thing, some sort of a PowerPoint presentation.
Right.
But honestly, you know, I get this at work too. They're always like, what are your goals and objectives for the new year?
Where do you see
And I'm
yourself in
like,
5 years,
to
Tim?
stay employed,
Yeah.
to have a job, stay employed, um, that kind of stuff. And just not, I don't want to rock the boat. Like at this point, like I'm pretty happy with consistency. I think people are like, there's always this desire to like more. Let's do this. Let's try this. Let's try this. And I'm like, sometimes it's just good to find your groove and
Yeah.
figure out what you're good at and stick with that. Like, you can improve within that. Like, I'm always questioning how can we make this process better that we're using, but, or how can we do this in a more interesting way? But I don't necessarily want to add like a whole bunch of new things every year.
Yeah.
And I see that when people get promoted, and I'm like, oh, well, now you're doing like a whole nother, you're doing like 3 jobs now. Because you might have gotten promoted, but there are still going to be people asking you about that old stuff,
Yeah.
and you're still going to be advising. So I'm like, I'm happy to be not middle management. I'm happy to be a worker drone
Yeah.
for that kind of stuff. Because it's like, that's what keeps my keel even.
Yes.
Because I've worked jobs where there's so much pressure, and I was like arriving 2 hours before I had to start working just to get ready to work. Like,
God.
we'd start at 8 and I would get there at 6 because like it was so much pressure and so much anxiety about doing this job. Not recently, this was before COVID, but like I was like pulling my hair out trying to like stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I gotta just find something that's not gonna like cause me to have a heart attack.
That's good. We're
Yeah.
all for that.
I realize my limitations, and those involve not killing myself
Hey,
for
a
a
lot of people
paycheck.
don't recognize that, so that's good.
I know, and it's hard to say this is enough.
Yeah.
My dad didn't. Like, my dad was constantly working, constantly on the road, and then when he retired, he didn't really have anything to do because he never like had any interests. He doesn't read books. He's not really into music. He'll sit and watch shows on his iPad.
Yep.
But like, I don't want my retirement to be sitting in a chair watching shows. Like, I
Yeah.
want to have things to do and places to go.
Yes, there is talk
So,
in chat about agreeing with the happy to be a worker drone thing.
right. Now that's entirely because it's on me. I went to school for sports management. I don't work in sports management.
I don't think I knew
Um
that.
yeah, I wanted to be like a general manager of a sports team. The guy making
Mm-hmm.
trades and that kind of stuff. Um, and I did went through that. I did an internship, and then I went in after my internship. I worked with a AAA baseball team, the Buffalo Bisons, up
Oh
in
yeah.
Western New York, and that was a lot of fun. And then I applied for like 30 different jobs around the country, and I couldn't get an interview
Damn.
anywhere. And so I moved to Columbus from Buffalo because I had friends who were in a band, and I was in a band in college, and they all moved to Columbus, and they're like, you should move here. Like, they have Ohio State. At the time, they had the Columbus Chill, which was a minor league hockey team. They have the Columbus Clippers. There's all this stuff going on. Like, you could easily get some sort of a job here and then do the band on the side.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. And then I couldn't get a job. I applied for all those places, couldn't get a job, and I ended up working at a Kohl's in the men's department. And that's when I went, oh, okay, this is going to be how it's going. I'm just going to work jobs while I pursue my interests.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's okay.
I think you'll have a happier retirement, like you said.
I hope so. Because I got a lot of ideas for books I haven't written yet. So I'm just going to be in my office writing, and yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you major in writing or in creative writing in college?
I tried to get a degree in journalism, but then I realized that I had not I didn't have the moxie that you need to basically stick a microphone in someone's face and ask them
Yep.
very personal questions. And also, it's taken me a long time to realize this, but sometimes I look at the wrong things. And my breaking point was there was one of the core classes of the journalism degree. Of all the core classes, you have to get a C plus or better. And I was doing my one of the assignments was to look at the police reports and find a crime and write it up. and I picked a hold up at a gas station, and I could not get anybody at the gas station to talk to me on the record, and I was just a student. And I'm like, why won't this guy talk to anybody? And I don't even remember how I realized it. But the thing was, the clerk had grabbed a machete and chased the robber, which is a whole new level of assault against the law, whatever.
Yeah.
So of course he didn't want to talk to any people, because there was suddenly this vigilante worry that they had, and I did not even, if I'd been a good reporter, I would have liked, oh, that's the lead. But
Yeah.
no, no,
Machete wielding.
no. So
Uh,
it was that, and I did not do well in ethics and law. So
oh. See, I started in journalism.
started in journalism, did not continue, and I had taken I
Same.
really enjoyed my English classes that I'd been taking, and so I
Yeah.
just got an English degree, and only later found out that no, UNC Chapel Hill does have a creative writing degree, but I don't know how well I would have done, because the few creative writing classes I had, I didn't do a lot of. They were typically not in support of genre work.
Ah, yeah. See, I started out in journalism just like you, and then I realized like a couple years in, yeah, I don't want to be the guy. I also I got, I went to work on the newspaper to get some experience, and they gave me sports to work on, which was great, but like they had me cover track and field. I had never gone to a track and field meet in my life. I knew nothing, like I don't know how any of the rules or any of this stuff. So I felt like an idiot trying to cover track and field. And I was like, I don't know that I care enough to want to do this. Like
Yeah.
this isn't how I wanted to do journalism essentially. And I thought that was going to be like showing up at the press conference for my team, and I'll be asking questions. And
Mm-hmm.
I also saw it as, I don't know if I want to be on the outside. I think I want to be on the inside, worth the team, working, instead of being someone reporting on the team. So I switched majors my junior year, which was really dumb, because then I went 3 more years.
Oh,
So I
wow.
went to college for 6 years. My and I when it comes up, my wife Katie will say, "And you're not a doctor." She loves to bring that up, which is fine. I totally respect that, because I did that. But yeah, I I went extra and still didn't use my education.
Yeah.
I guess the paper writing helped, because I've had to write project management papers and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
I'm organized. So there's probably some skills. Also, I was extremely introverted when I went to college, so that helped me get out of that a little
Right.
bit. I mean, I'm still not the most outgoing person. I am with my friends. Like my wife says, you either don't want to talk to anyone, or they're your best friend. So being in college was good, because I had to like learn how to just be someone who can hang,
Mm-hmm.
which I was not able to do in high school. That was just not my thing. So I do, and I actually believe like college is more than just getting an education. It is about an experience of like you're being socialized away from your parents.
Yeah.
You have to learn to be an individual, and can you take care of everything that you need to take care? Can you show up to class on time?
Yeah.
Can you do your own laundry? Can you go get a meal and remember to eat?
Yeah.
Can you do all these things? Do you need to get a job to pay for things if you want to go out? Like I had to get jobs in college because I wasn't getting money from home. Like they paid for my books and my, room and board. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to go to the bars on or go out to eat, it was like, well, you better get a job.
Yeah.
So I think that's as much what college should be. Now it's just a job factory, it seems like you just go there to get a job,
Yeah.
and
And
you
that's
pay a
not
hundred
even
thousand dollars.
guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly.
Good
Oh, by the
times.
way, the thing you started going to college for 4 years ago, that's no longer a relevant field. It's gone.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I asked for questions in the chat. It doesn't seem we have any.
Sorry, I'm boring, guys.
Though you're not boring. I just figured we should talk about this because it's important. Have you Do you think you've learned anything about writing or publishing from your clients that you wouldn't have gotten somewhere else?
Oh, I think reading, because I've read books by all of you since I have started working for you, because I want to be familiar with the material. Um, so I mean, just as improved as a writer,
Mm-hmm.
um, that has definitely helped, and also just like how to carry yourself. I think um, you don't have to chase everything.
Oh,
You
okay.
don't have to chase every opportunity.
Yeah.
Like I always feel like, oh, if somebody's like offers me something, I'm like, oh, I have to say yes. What if this opportunity never happens again?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
I'm
like,
guilty of that. Yeah.
and so I think realizing like not every opportunity is equal, and you don't have to always go after everything, because then you can, you know, wear yourself out, spread yourself thin, that kind of stuff. And if you overcommit to too many things, you end up just doing mediocre work across the board.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, Cameron's great at saying no.
Yeah. That's true. Cameron is great at saying no.
Yeah.
I admire that.
It's funny because she's younger than me, but like I have definitely learned a lot from Cameron about uh just like mental health, also with regards to how you deal with the burnout.
Mm-hmm.
She went through this the last couple years, and just how to like manage your mental health.
Yeah.
That's definitely been important in the whole journey.
Yeah.
So there you
Well,
go.
tell us like one more time where to find you online, Tim.
Sure. timminichi.com. You can also go to the digmeoutpodcast.com is where our podcast is, if you're into like 80s, 90s, 70s, aughts, rock and roll, indie rock, alternative, metal, whatever, anything that has a guitar in it. Even if it doesn't have a guitar, sometimes we talk about those bands too. If it just has a piano or saxophone. There's not as many, but there's a few. That you should come check us out, because we have like 850 episodes over 15 years.
Nice.
So, which is not as many as you. I think you have like
I don't even know.
40,000.
I don't know how many I have. I should probably do that as I go through my archives. Um, but if you want to find me and my podcasts and my books, you can go to merverse.com. And if you would like to get your podcasts early and ad free and sometimes expanded even, you can go to patreon.com/mightymur and get all that good stuff there. We're going to raid into... Let me raid into Pen Addict. Pen Addict does a whole bunch of pen reviews and stationery reviews and a lot of giveaways. So many giveaways. I've never won anything, but that doesn't mean it's a waste of time.
Question: what does that mean, raid?
Raid is I have an audience, a live audience right now, and if I just turned off my stream, then they would scatter to the winds. But if I take them and give them to another streamer that either I think they would like or that they're doing the kind of thing I'm doing, then, that's basically like me trying to suggest to them something new. And it's also a way to find new people to watch stream. And they can, of course, go scatter to the wind if they like. But when I started watching Twitch, it's how I found a lot of my favorite streamers. I'd just find one person I like, and then I'd follow them wherever they took their raid. So we're gonna I didn't actually say my end part. I'm so embarrassed. Thank you for listening. Keep up the good work, and you should be writing. There, that'll get edited in perfectly later. Yeah. Pen Addict. The raid call is #MurRaid, and you can use any of my friendly emotes and just be as great there as you are here. Did that work? Did that set up the raid? I don't think it did. No, I did the wrong thing. I'll be alright.
Can you steal them? Can you unraid? Can you reverse raid?
No, I messed up the raid. I didn't use the right command. But now we're all good. Now we're
Got it.
ready. But thank you, Tim. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
I'll see you guys next Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern.